Welcome back, everybody, to Gringos Liberados. My name is Trajan. I'm joined by RMC as usual. And making his podcast debut, we've got Rev, fresh from the broadcasting split too. Welcome, my friend. This is episode 10. Rev, how are we feeling? How are we podcasting today?
I'm just getting my LTA South dose back because we didn't have one day last week, so I need a little bit more. I'm very ready to light some fire. You know, I'm here from Greece. We do have a lot of olive oil, and I'm ready to get all those flames up with my spitting hot takes.
Okay,
fair enough. I do hear that Greece is a very flammable object.
Yeah, it is still ashen, I believe, slightly, rising from the ashes of the last 15 years, perhaps.
Rising?
Yeah. Well, they're trying, I guess. We'll give them some credit. Not that I can throw stones. RMC, I think you're in a country that's actually making good decisions right now, but I'm certainly not.
I mean, by proxy, sure, because we're next to the place that's making the worst decisions.
On the grand scale, the globe, perhaps, but... Right, speaking of making terrible decisions, let's talk about LTA South. Let's talk about this region that we choose to cover for some gosh darn reason. And it's group stage. We've had the first week of group stage, our first set of games from all of our top 8 teams. That is the entire 8 teams, I suppose I should say. And overall, the results were fairly cut and dry. No massive dramas. No one's locked anyone in their own room. No one has been subbed or benched or taken off the bench, or the CEOs haven't tweeted anything. So we're kind of good right now. We've had a week where we just played League, and that was all we did. And it's resulted in the Brazilian teams rising up in a big way. Group A first. Pain, VKS, Isra Sestron, Leviathan, LLA back in the mud. Once again, confirmed Pain and VKS kind of smushed them. RMC, given what we saw last time Pain and Leviathan met in an important match, you had this down as a potential tripping hazard last week. Now it seems like Pain have been practicing their hurdling over the offseason and just kind of leaped it with no issue.
Yeah, super clean performance from them in general, and you love to see it. Rather than phrasing this like a Brazil versus LatAm sort of situation in Group A, it just feels like it was the expected outcome, I think, in general in most of the games. And yeah, Pain, absolutely stunning finish. I love that, they went like 18-7 and what's the other one? 15-2. So very, very clean finish from them. They're looking absolutely fantastic. I feel a little bit bad for Leviathan because it felt like they didn't even really have a chance for the most part. Like
it was some cross-conference Leviathan that we saw in that series.
Shots hard. True. Cody especially, man. The Cody Romer matchup in game 1, the Gragas. He had such a good Gragas game last week, so the week before last, and then he went up against Romer, and it's like the dude didn't know how to play the matchup at all. Like Romer, the first couple of kills were like Romer's like, can I actually even kill this guy? Like, is he actually doing this? And then he scored like 2 kills in the lane, which is completely over, and Cody didn't know it. Cody still kept trying to fight him, which is so painful to watch.
Yeah, I don't know if it maybe felt like, from what we've seen from Leviathan, where individual heroics have been pretty essential to a lot of their good performances, that they're now playing like everyone has to be a hero, and it doesn't matter if I've already lost this lane, I have to win this lane, or how do we play the game, and just keeps losing and keeps losing and keeps losing, and you're like, well, dude, just stop, please. Just stop, man. I don't know, like... It's
sorry. I mean, I think there were more crimes than that. I was looking at some of those drafts and I was looking, okay, this individual pick makes sense. This individual pick kind of makes sense, but it's like you're creating a puzzle and you look at it and think, what was I drinking when I was making that puzzle? Then it doesn't make sense. This has like the head of a Pokemon, the body of a I don't know, Digimon, and it's holding some sort of cross. This is all weird. I was looking at it and I was like, are you trying to win, or is this like some random solo queue? What is the coach doing?
Yeah.
Well, they can't drink anymore, right? They changed Drunken Rage to Raucous Rage now. That's what happened.
He's stone cold sober, and you can tell he's going through withdrawal right now. Cody's Gragas is not hitting. So yeah, it feels like Leviathan again. That they've settled to the point where they're not helpless. They are able to exploit weak teams like Fluxu, like Isrus Estral apparently. But when you put them up against a quality roster, they are folding hard at this point, which is what we saw last time. It's just that all of the Brazilian teams were absent from Split 1. They were weak teams. They were all weak teams in Split 1. And then when Leviathan went up against a strong opponent in FlyQuest, they folded. And it was like, okay, well, I guess there was a glass ceiling that was not broken by Leviathan at that point. So it was pretty cut and dry for sure. We're not even seeing necessarily anything different out of Pain. They have re-established the way they like to play the game. As you say, it was very clean, very few mistakes, and Karaoke is low-key just having like the split of his life right now, like absolutely dominating. And the guy who I wondered if he'd peaked his last time, I guess, in like kind of 23 when we had like some really good Karaoke games. And even when Pain won and defeated Loud, this wasn't Karaoke playing at peak performance. And then International, we had a lot of problems coming out of the jungle for Pain. And Split 1, we had the same. But now, he's back into it. He's back on form again, and respect to him, because I didn't know if he had another one in him, you know? But he had one more in him, for sure, at least.
And he's getting to the point where he's almost making me believe he could play Xinjiao.
Almost. He's really trying to rewrite the story there. He's trying to appeal to his strongest haters, being RMC.
Because he played Vi again.
Yeah.
And I think he's got something like averaging 5 kills and like 1 death or something like that on the Vi, which is nuts.
Yeah.
His Vi was like Xinjiao levels.
Yeah,
so
like,
if he's doing this on Vi, like, I don't want to see the Xinjiao, but I also kind of want to see the Xinjiao now. You know,
what if you could see the Xinjiao? What if this time it's okay?
Yeah,
what if
right?
this time he has the highest KDA in the whole league right now.
Yep, that checks
more
out.
than 10, and no one else is more than 10. I think a couple of people are 8s and 9s. Aegis is like 9 because he's played 2 games. Not really a fair comparison. They're all against Fluxu. Yeah. It's not really a fair test of Aegis, let's be honest. But you know, there are players like Tattoo is way up there as well. IU and Morteus, so like we get to AD carries where you'd kind of expect to be there. But Karaoke is head and shoulders above them for KDA as a jungler who plays Vi, who plays Xin, who plays like whatever he needs to play. It's not all Ivern games, right? Where you just go 1-1 and 20 or something. Like, so big respect to Karaoke. If Soph was here, she'd be over the moon. And we might hopefully see Soph back before too long, just in time to see some good Karaoke games, because she's been denied those for a while. So
but if Karaoke starts losing,
just when Soph comes back, we have to ask questions. We have to open investigations on that.
I'm just saying, I'm willing to sacrifice Soph for Pain wins. That's all.
Wow. Okay, let's not show this episode. Gosh, dang it.
Love you, Soph. She's a Pain Zeshi. She gets it.
She gets it. The Pain Zetches would sacrifice all of their loved ones for Pain wins at this point. They would take that over anything.
I mean, they're getting there, for sure. But I'm not sure if I'm really buying the jungler KDA supremacy thing, especially with those picks, right? Because you mentioned like Jin Zhao, Maokai, Vi, all of those picks that kind of run in. What are you doing not dying? Well, if you're not setting up for your carries to get all the kills, what are you doing? No, I mean, it's like, there's this whole reckless debacle. He has now the highest KDA in LTA or whatever, like 0 deaths.
Yeah.
But, my guy, you're playing Gorel in Rakan.
Yeah.
You're diving in straight
playing the game.
Yeah.
That's fair. Low deaths with no other context kind of sounds bad. But he also has the highest or second highest kill participation of all players in the league. Only Aegis beats him, and Aegis again only has a small sample size. Yeah. So Karaoke is throwing his body in there. Him not dying is not for lack of trying.
Yeah,
that sounds bad. Like, you know what I mean?
We've seen games where Karaoke is trying to die. We've seen those games, and if he wants to die, he will die. And he can achieve that. He can do the 1 and 10 Vi games as opposed to the 5 and 1 Vi games.
It's not that he doesn't try, but I'm also looking at the assist sides, and he's pretty fine there. So if we put him in context, he is playing for the team, and that's what's most important with those. So he knows his role right now. He's trying to play the game, and it kind of works out. I think that the KD thing, it's mostly not only Karaoke plays the game, is that he has managed to get the rest of the team on the same page with him, which is the most important part when you're playing all those engager picks and in a teamfight meta.
Yeah, for sure. So Pain looking very, very well put together. Once again, still looking like they're going to comfortably be the favorites here in this group, I would say. And Leviathan, we're just kind of, I think we've probably capped out Leviathan. It feels like we've capped out, at least for Leviathan, now that the rest of the region has woke up. We'll see if they can change that narrative. We obviously have seen those individual highlights from Cody, from Seo, even from Zoffy at times, right? But we'll need to wait and see if they can give us something to cheer about for a while. The other matchup in Group A was VKS versus Isurus Estral. Another 2-0, another Brazilian team taking the dub over the LLA. And are we feeling, I guess, for VKS, comparing them with Pain as the other like success in this group, as a team that was in second place just last year, right? Was dominating the entire region in 1 year from scratch. We've had the ups and downs from Split 1 and Split 2 now. Rev, when it comes to VKS, from what we're seeing now into groups, into Fearless, are we still in the up and up right now? Are we still leaving them in the mid pack where they finished at the end of that at the end of the regular season?
I mean, I feel like I'm gonna be painted as the biggest VKS hater. I just have like big expectations from this team. Okay, and I was watching through those games, and there was a little voice in my head constantly gaining and gaining, saying, what if we don't give them the win and they're just tied? Just split the points, guys. They did not deserve it. Like game 2, they were losing. It's just that Isurus Estral haven't been in a position where they can win games, so they don't know what to do with a goal lead. And they just lost. And I feel like nothing changed. They're still the bouncers of the league. Put them against a lower tier team, they know how to stall the game out, right? They have experience in their players. They have some carries that if they're put in a position that they can carry, it's fine. Like Kissy can carry, Bo can kind of carry, Trimby can't provide for his team. Can they do that without giving them 15,000 chances? No. That's how it's like. There was a season, I'm gonna complete transition to a different sport, where Aguero had like Sergio Aguero, that's like a striker in football. He had some insane amount of goal, 40 something, and you look at how many finishing tries he had, it was 5 times his goals, and you're like, what are you doing? Are you playing solo? How are you missing so much? And that's what I feel about VKS right now. They're a team that can win, but do they know instinctively how to win? Are they a unit? No, they just know how to play defense, and that's not enough for me.
This is good that we brought Rev on here, because 404 couldn't be here, and we needed to bring someone else who can do football analogies, because I can't do them. So we needed some other football analogies to fill.
What do you mean you can't do them? You're from the UK, Trajan. It's a national sport.
Yeah.
I said we need somebody who can do them. We didn't say we need to do it well.
So there's maybe 2 or 3 Celtic players I could do an analogy with, and when one becomes pertinent, I'll make it. But we don't have a single team that dominates the region right now, so there's not many good Celtic analogies I can make, unfortunately.
I mean, we have. If we turn the table like upside down, you can find one.
We can find one singled out. Yeah, that's for sure.
I love that you use Aguero as well, because Argentinian. So VKS LA team confirmed.
Yeah, this is LTA South material. Okay. RMC. How do you feel about VKS? Because we had the problem initially, I think, of them being incredibly slow and plodding and getting there, but not looking very exciting doing it. And then they went 1,000 miles an hour and started dropping wins left and right, and were tripping over themselves trying to speed up the game. Yep. Where have we landed now on the VKS game plan? Do you think they know how to win a game, or are we confused now in the identity here?
I don't think Rev is the biggest hater. I actually think he's kind of right. Like I fully agree with Rev. I think K-Stars haven't landed yet. They're still kind of up in the air. And I think the biggest K-Stars haters right now is probably Coach CL, because his team is not playing in any. Well, historically speaking, CL is a very structured guy, right? Like from what we've heard from some of the players, Gigo included, and one of the reasons why he cited for moving to Furia was he felt that he was being stifled under CL, because Coach CL obviously wants certain things very specifically done, and It's just not happening. Did we just lose Rev?
I'm here.
We lost his
Okay.
camera, but he's back.
Okay, perfect. There we go. Rev's back. Yes, stifled by Coach CL as well. But basically, yeah. So when I look at the way VKS is playing right now, they're not looking structured. They're kind of all over the place. And like Rev said, they're kind of like the benchmark team where it's like, if you're better than them, you beat them. If you're weaker than them, you lose to them. And I feel like all that's coming from laning, where if Mortiers and Trimby can beat you, if Bowl can beat you, then VKS as a whole will beat you. The two players who I think are performing really well for them consistently is Desamis and Kissy, specifically. But if Bowl loses his lane, we've got problems. And so up against Isra Zestral, I think Kate Stars should have looked amazing. Snaker Ackerman is the weakest bot lane in the league by a mile right now.
Yeah.
Summit is not quite back in full form, and it showed against Bowl. Like, he didn't win against Bowl. And when those conditions are met, Kate Stars should look amazing. The fact that Game 2 was as close as it was, that's worrying if you're Kate Stars. And up against Pain, I don't know, man. I don't think they can hit the win conditions up against Pain. Up against Leviathan, that one's going to be spicy, because can they hit those win cons? Maybe they can. Maybe they can't. Zothvi has been, consistently good this split. Good enough that I'm not confident in Bowl being able to beat him consistently. Like, maybe it's like 60-40 for Bowl. I do favor Bowl, but not enough. And bot lane, Sayo Pro Delta can be good when they're on form.
Yeah, just look at how the last match between them went. It was a Leviathan win. We were wondering if the wheels had fully come off Leviathan, but they pick up the VKS win and go, okay, hang on. There's something to work with here. We've not lost the plot here at Leviathan. But there is clearly a weakness to be exploited right there for VKS, where if the mistakes go unpunished by a team that can't punish them, then sure, cool, here's your win. But a lot of our teams can punish mistakes now and make a living doing so. And like teams like Loud and Pain, like they make a significant proportion of their yearly income just punishing mistakes from bad teams, to be honest. So we shall see how VKS stands up, and I guess we definitely wouldn't give them a good look in against Pain right now. I think not in this form. Yeah. I think Pain is likely to steamroll them. So it might just be kind of Pain +3, I guess, in this group, as opposed to like top 2 qualifying out contesting, or maybe even like 3 vying for those top 2 spots that you want to avoid the playing against the different seeding. So we shall see for VKS.
Maybe Pain +2.5, because I do have an interesting question to pose. I think we all agree that right now, as of now, Group B looks a little bit scarier, a little bit stronger.
A little bit evener, that's for sure.
If Group B was a 5 team group with VKS there, where would you place VKS?
Probably like 3rd or 4th. Either ahead of Red or behind Red in 3rd and 4th, probably. But like with Aegis back in now, we're still yet to see just how much extra potential Red has, because they've only played games against Fluxu since Aegis has come back in. So against like Desamis, who is a good jungler, against Tatu, who's a good jungler, I don't know. So 3rd or 4th, probably. I don't know. I wouldn't put them above Loud, who are the crown king mistake punishers, and then Furia, who actually look just like a really good team, generally speaking.
But
that is
you're putting
question,
the mistake punishers over there. We don't do anything, so we don't do mistakes.
That's the thing, though, because if you don't do anything, you get to 35 minutes and Loud is cracking their knuckles, going, right, would you like to 5v5 against Loud? Is that you've chosen death, VKS, if you would like to 5v5 voluntarily against Loud while doing nothing about it? So it's, I don't know. Yeah, I don't feel good about them, that's for sure. But yeah, I think I agree with what you said, RMC, that surely the angriest person on earth about this is CL, who I think managed to craft quite a distinct vision of winning games on VKS last year, and now we seem to be struggling to find it again. On IE, is there anything else that we need to say about IE right now, or like, because that second game was better from them, but
I think this is the best IE has looked all split, actually.
Yeah.
Weird as it is to say that because they lost 0-2, but genuinely, I think this is the best performance they've had. Summit is starting to get back into form a little bit. I think I'm not sure he'll hit the heights he needs to in time to be the big carry for this team. But Miru and Jose Diodo looked a lot better. My biggest concern right now is his bot lane. Ackerman looked stunning in game 2, and I think was actually
Yep.
one of the biggest reasons why they came back in with Jose Deodo. But Snaker, like what? At this point, like if I'm IE, no joke, I'd be thinking about replacing Snaker with a CD 80 carry. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what is
Cello
going
back,
on with
bro.
Snaker, man.
Get him up. Bring him up.
Yeah.
Raise him up.
I mean, is it
Cello,
Snaker
Natuno?
there, or was it Zeri in that draft without cleanse? Because you're playing Zeri into Nautilus, we can check you.
Nautilus Pantheon Ari.
Pantheon, Ari, yeah, and even like I think Bold was playing Aatrox, so
Yeah.
you're not outranging anyone. Your support is a Rel, who Ackerman, like he played very well. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But how are you actually dealing damage unless all like the enemy team 5 stacks on a single pixel and get all Magnestone by Rel?
Yeah. And the joke is that Ezreal is available. Like I would take Ezreal over the Zeri in this situation. Like sure, you're still gonna get run by the Kai'Sa. Like there's no answer for that, but Ezreal at least can play outside range and play away from Ahri, can play outside of Aatrox range. Look, like the Zeri's a bad pick, or it's a rough pick. I don't want to say it's bad. I understand why they did it. It's a rough pick. But if you give Brunsey that champion, Brunsey would have carried.
I was about to say, the only Zeris I see in this region right now are Brunsey Zeris, and I love Brunsey Zeris, and I hate this Zeri. This does not give me the same feelings that Brunsey Zeri gives me. Only a few people are allowed to
It's a
pick
choice
this
you made,
champ.
right? And I'm looking at game 1 2 on the Xayah. 3, 6, and 3 is kind of not okay, right? Like on one of the most defensive AD carries in the game, where they didn't have really champions that could hard punish the Xayah. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just looking at Snaker. It's just not working for me, man. Like, this region is too stacked in the bot lane role for you to be kind of dicking around. And I feel like that is the big change that needs to be done for IE right now. Like, you've already made the first biggest change was getting Birdo out of there. They did that. But now you're kind of looking at the other sort of things and you're going, okay, it's not enough. What else do we change? And it's got to be Snaker, man. Jose Deodo, Miru, Ackerman, they're pulling their own weight. And Snaker in the past has been at that level. He is not currently at that level. He needs to wake up, and if he's not doing it, IE needs to set some sort of alarm clock to wake him up. Whether that be finding an understudy to threaten him or something, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not looking good. It was the very least last week. I was suspicious of the whole bot lane, but then as you say, Ackerman stepped up and said no. I can very much still play the game, but we're still waiting for Snaker, and they've got 2 more series in the group stage to figure it out before they go into elimination stages. So we'll see if they can do it. Okay. Group B. Red, Furia, Loud, Fluxu, W7M. The more even group as we described it. Red taking the win over Fluxu, W7M. Again, 2 games. I mean, Aegis is just a better jungler than Ganks. He's still a better jungler than Ganks, everybody. Hot news off the press. Aegis is still better than Ganks. And that was about it, man. Like, Fluxu, we did not see much from Fluxu. Geeks as well, low key. I think we saw a bit of split one Geeks in that series. He had a tough one, dude. He suffered. Yeah. He suffered in that one. I think Fluxu, even in the context of their split one where they went 1-6, I think they had a bad day. I don't think they looked as good as they did at times in the positioning phase, and it was just a bit lifeless, to be honest. Like, I don't really have anything else to say about this series, because until I see Red play against someone else, I can't really draw any more conclusions about them. And I think this was probably, looking at Loud and Furia, like, are Fluxu going to have a more chance against Furia? Surely not. Loud? Why would they? I don't know. Yeah.
The only thing for me is, well, if you replace Aegis with Doom there, would Red show the same dominance? Would they be better? Would they be worse? That's my biggest question there, because yes, you're subbing him in versus the weakest team in the region, most likely, but did you get anything from that? Was it just to wake Doom up? Was it to give him some time off? What's the takeaway?
I think they just slapped Aegis back in as the original goal was for Aegis to still be the starter, or to be he's meant to be the jungler of this team. And these 3 games have given him a wonderful warm-up of just completely styling on Fluxu. And now, and he's not doing any funny business as well. He's playing Sejuani, he's playing Maokai, I think. He's playing the most dog junglers of all time, and still just like completely running rings around his opponent. So like, I think this is just getting Aegis revved back up to lead Red into the promised land.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the opposite situation where instead of using Aegis to wake Doom up, I think Doom was the alarm for Aegis to say that, hey, we are willing to bench you if you're not playing properly for the team. And yeah, I guess it kind of worked. Like Aegis is coming back, and the game one especially, it was my big takeaway from this is that, hey, Red can actually play disciplined, as shocking as that is. Right, like the Smolder pick, I know like some people are a bit shocked when they saw a top lane for FNB, but FNB's the guy who also whipped out Anivia top into, I think it was Nara or Necton. I can't remember what he played it against. But yeah, wild picks from him is nothing crazy. It was a good like strategy. It was a good draft into the Scion with the scaling and everything. And they just played really disciplined, which is not a word I generally associate with Red. So huge props to them for that. I do think that shows growth that is necessary for them if they actually want to win a split. Yeah. Game 2 though got a little bit messy again, which I don't know how much I put that on Red versus like Fluxu felt kind of desperate and they were just like chucking everything to try and make something happen, which props, by the way, if you're the weaker team, that is what you need to do to try and win games. So Red just kind of went, okay, bet. If you want to throw hands, we'll throw hands. And then just played typical Red style and won. So my takeaway was that Red has grown. Let's see if they can stay disciplined against better teams. But like Trajan was saying, it's a really solid start and return for Aegis.
Yeah, the game one especially was just completely like, you have nothing to do. Like Fluxy, you have no options, no doors, no chances. We're just, Smolder is perma scaling and the rest of us are just completely buttoned up. And I felt like there was only really one moment where Red did get a bit overexcited. They dive bot lane turret, inhib turret for no real reason. I think they were like, we could probably just fight and win the game here. And they mess it up and they sets their win back by like 3 minutes or something. But they're like, okay, all right, good one, guys, nice one. But let's just win the game now. So I think Red they do look notably different. FNB looked like someone had told him, no more stupid stuff, FNB. And he goes, okay, no more stupid stuff. I am going to play Smolder.
Lock and Smolder.
I'm going to play Smolder, and I'm going to cue the wave. I'm going to cue the wave, and then I'm going to cue the wave. And then I'm going to play Cho'Gath, and I'm going to stack my ult. I'm going to run around, and I'm going to push waves. It's going to be great. So FNB was very much... I think on best behavior this week, and it showed. And when he's on best behavior, he's just like an exceptional top laner. So hopefully he stays on best behavior. So Red pretty decidedly comfortable over Fluxu. Now the other matchup is the interesting one. That's the cool one. This is the interesting result. Our 1-3 game series, Furia defeated the demons, exercised the demons before they started a trend, before they fell into the pain hole. 2-1 over Loud. They stayed strong. They did a Furia game in game 1. They got Louded in game 2, and they held out in game 3 to get the win. Congratulations, Furia. We will not be cursing you today. Big dubs.
Oh yeah, I'm super happy.
So far,
in a way, last week I predicted that Loud would win 2-0, but I did say it has to be a 2-0. If not, Furia will win this. Yeah. And the moment Furia won the first game, I was just like, oh, this is over for Loud. Yeah. Like they bounced back good second game, but it did not matter. I guess, LTA South is no country for old men. A little bit of like it starts slow. It has some good action in the middle, but at the end of the day, it just kind of fizzles out. That's the plot for No Country for Old Men, by the way.
Yeah. Like the wins for Furia are both sub 30 minutes. The Loud win is 43 minutes.
Exactly.
So, and the thing that the pattern that my neurons are identifying in a lot of these Furia games, even the ones that they lose against the likes of Loud in that last game in the positioning phase, and here is that even when they're down and their early game plan doesn't go right, they fall a little bit behind. They can't just roll over the game as they usually like to do. They try and extract the absolute maximum out of team fights to the point where it always feels like they're a hair's breadth away from winning them, but they can't quite make it. And like Loud are a very good team fighting team. We said this enough. If you give them an advantage in a team fight, you give them a good position, they are odds on to take the team fight. That's just how they work. But Furia make it so difficult. They make it so close every time, and they don't just roll over. They don't just give up. They don't just lose ideas. Maybe the not the best idea to just try and out team fight Loud when you're down, right? But I feel pretty confident that against most of the other teams, they'd probably actually just out team fight them and win. And we kind of saw them do that against, was it Red? like when Red started to throw away their lead, they weren't even down in gold yet, but they just started losing every team fight to Furia. Like as soon as they made that one bad FNB Gwen play, every 5v5 is a disaster and it's unplayable. And it's like just because Furia, even when they're down and they're not in control, they are still so talented in this 5-stack iteration that they have that extra aspect to them now that they maybe didn't quite have before. When Tuts is playing well, when Tattoo has been such a revelation, when they've got Gigo now on the top side, who's, you know, he's Gigo. Like he's usually in team fights in the later stages pretty good. Lane, who knows, man? But like team fights, he's pretty good normally. So
and I mean, it really goes to show how Furia has grown. It's that they fought so valiantly in that game too when. Honestly, they got outdrafted to oblivion. Like that Nocturne pick, it disables the Jhin, it disables the Hui, they can't really play. How are you finding all your angles with the Ambessa? Jojo with Nico, he's trying to like find his way in the dark. He's hidden on his couch, falling down in the living room. And still, like the game was over 40 minutes long and was an absolute banger, kind of close. If you look at the kill score, you were bleeding down like 8k gold and you were still managing to fight tooth and nail. So it goes to show Furia has indeed grown. And my only question is can you actually replicate that in best of 5 Fearless? Because best of 3 is kind of fine. Third game, for some reason, the enemy top laner locks in Sion. Nobody in LTA South knows how to play Sion, it seems. They always get outvalued. But game 5, do you have anything else out of your pocket? Because you've already gotten out the Lucian Nami game 3, and normally there should have been more answers there. It's just that Loud weren't confident enough to play. But like Redbird and Raud, they're not really playing the super aggressive bottom laners, the long range. They're not playing the T1 style. Other teams might. Like if you play that versus what's their name, Pain Gaming, you might be getting smacked.
Yeah, I mean, that's when time whips out the Draven, I guess. But I kind of took it the other way, actually, for Fury. I felt like the Lucian Nami was not Ayu and Jojo running out of options. Like, keeping in mind that Jojo has, like, a giga huge champion pool. And Ayu... I mean, Ayu can play lots of things. I feel like that was more of a statement from them that they wanted to play aggressive and they wanted to play fast, right? Like, they had the Jace winning lane. They wanted a winning bot lane to just kind of play through. So, I'm not as worried about Furia's champion pool. I'm actually much more worried about Loud's champion pool, specifically Tinone's. Because I felt Tinone's this series got horrifically exposed. Right now, it's weird. Tinone's has been playing since, like, what, 2013? I mean, Kaboom was, like, 2014, right? Like, the famous Kaboom Alliance game, which even gets quoted to this day. But now, in this current meta, it feels like he plays Ahri, Talia, and Azir. That's it. And if those three are banned, he defaults, like, Rise, maybe. Which is...
It's particularly good right now, to be fair. Like, Rise is strong at this point, so it's not even... So it's if we were in almost every single other meta, the Rise pick is not good. It's not like a strong pick, and then that falls off. The Corki looked incredibly whatever, and the Galio did nothing at all. So it's... we are running out of options here. You know, when Tuts just snaps away the Ahri and has a blinder on it, then whoops, we've lost one of our main tools. You know, the Hui as well. I don't think I've seen Tinone's touch the Hui in a while. So it does feel like Tinone's just did not really appear on the Rift that day. And I think Tinone's, just by maybe just the way he plays, the types of champions he plays, it kind of does end up being a little bit appearance to be kind of feast or famine. He either has like really good games where he's doing like very important things, or he's just completely invisible to what happens. But yeah, so Furia PogChamp though, guys. So they've taken down Loud. Loud still, I think. The Loud versus Red matchup is going to be very interesting to me because we've got Shinny versus Aegis, and the rest of Loud individually have been doing pretty well, whereas Red as well have been like kind of inconsistent, a little bit flaky at times. F&B has been a little bit flaky. Robo's there too, who's having a good season. Maybe there's a room for that matchup to turn a little bit. So I don't know. That's going to be a very interesting one, and probably still is going to end up as a jungle 1v1, and we'll see who wins the jungle 1v1, I guess.
I feel like all the interesting matches you're setting up, Trajan, are all in week 6. Like, you're talking about Leviathan versus VKS.
Are they not
Loud
next week? No.
Red. No.
Oh, no, man. Disaster. They're going to tease us right till the end of the group stage. Oh, well.
Always. Self-scheduling is on point.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going to sit here and get excited for anyone's matchup against Fluxu at this point. You can't make me. And, like, at the very least, kind of, yeah, Vivo Cade Stars versus anyone who's not Pain, I think, has juice, so them versus Leviathan could be good. But Pain, simultaneously, I'm not really that interested in watching them clobber all of the other teams in their group, so... I think the Red Furia Loud group in B is interesting because Furia are not perfect. They're very good, but they're not perfect. It did take them 3 games to beat Loud. I think they're a decidedly better team than Loud, but they couldn't do it cleanly. So then the question becomes against Red, is that jungle matchup now going to be affected? Is Tatu, who is having still a blinder season, when he's up against Aegis, who is making fools out of Academy junglers right now, left, right, and center, or at least the one that he's been given, you know? Are we going to see that advantage kind of drop away, and can Red's stabilized vision do something about Furia and stop them just steamrolling in 28 minutes twice in a row? So we shall see. But that's been the last week. Like I say, mainly interesting thing was Furia versus Loud. The rest of it was pretty cut and dry. We'll see how this progresses. Now, the next thing we can look at quickly, so we can take a look at the fantasy top 5. RMC,
Okay.
top 4, the clump here, less than 100 points, the gap to Lunar Day, with plenty to play for. Lunar Day, who has forsaken the LTA South entirely by the LTA fantasy discussion chat in the Discord right now, and is going all LTA North, so continuing to forsake her LTA South brethren. But points are points and a win is a win, so...
Yep.
I have finally managed to get a different jungler than Jose Diodo. Finally, I found a jungler worth exactly the same who I think is better, which is Shinny, funnily enough. So
I mean,
honestly, not a bad shout, though.
Right?
They're up against Fluxu
next week, so I'm feeling good about that one.
Yeah.
And I think IE might... Are they against Pain? They might be against Pain. They're against Leviathan.
No, it's Kate Star's Pain this week, yeah.
They're against Leviathan, so who knows, to be honest. But I think Loud Fluxu I'm confident about. So I've managed to finally make a tweak that I think will serve me well, and I'm just going to keep clutching my Furia players tight to my chest and hope that they keep winning games, I guess, which they're doing so far.
The funniest thing could happen right now, where like Cloud suddenly forgets how to play for 1 week, and I don't know, anything can happen in Ancestral versus Leviathan. So like suddenly has a Deodo, whips out I don't know the Talon jungle 17, 1, 13 because he just bleeds on everyone. Yeah, I will be laughing so hard. Not gonna lie.
It would be just my luck, man, for Jose to finally turn it around after I stuck with him for so long. Having started at 16, having halved in value since I picked him up. Literally. To then decide to put points up would be a bit grim, but appropriate, I suppose, in this way. So, yeah, we'll see. At the very least, we'd also have Ray and Dark Knight hunting close behind Lunar Day, so we can maybe at least imbue some of our other fans with our proxy to overtake Lunar Day's dominance in the Fantasy League, but we shall see about that.
Far unfortunately dropping from 6th to 7th, slightly fell this week. It's actually pretty close in the middle of the pack. Like, you've got Lunar significantly far ahead, then you've got Dark Knight and Ray, who are also like significantly far ahead, and then you've got the clump right after. Yeah.
Led by the random minion clump, the titular clump. Leading the pack, leading the mid pack of the fantasy table. Yeah, holding on to that top 5 slot to get on the podcast every week. The Paradox right behind. Okay, schedule for next week, as we've loosely touched on here. Loud versus Fluxu. I mean, okay, like enjoy the 2-0 Loud. Let's see if Fluxu, if you can do something cool, but also don't do it to Shinny, please, because I need some points now. So don't do it.
No,
to Shinny.
Shinny's good or bad. If Loud's losing, Shinny's gonna be in the dumpster because he's the leader for better or for worse.
He's gonna be that 1-5 like Vi Skarner play. He's gonna be that thing that Rev thinks karaoke should be. He's gonna be racking up all the deaths as a jungler, as a true jungler should for the school. I mean,
I'm just gonna like put this out there. I am a huge Hillsang enjoyer. Okay, that's
Okay.
all. That's all. I will not elaborate. Please, no
what
questions.
a surprise that he thinks players should die all the time. What a surprise. Okay.
The screen change. Just
I think
He is indeed a Healer-Sang enjoyer. His internet is also
his
down.
internet is also dead. Just to be thematic, continually.
Okay, I think you're back. Repeat, please.
I'm like, the screen changes color for a reason. We are taking advantage of everything that Riot Games has coded into the game. Okay,
Yes, we
so
are using
why
all
are
the
you
resources
like
available.
getting Koguma if you're never using the passive? Why would you like not enjoy the change of the
It
screen?
makes
Like,
sense that you're a loud enjoyer. Redbird enjoyer checks out.
Yeah, if you want your support to die, then loud's your team, bro. Get some.
and that's the reason I also hate on
Throw the Ls
VKS,
up.
because even when they lose, they just lose hands down. They're not doing anything.
Wait,
And
but VKS Pro Delta leads the supports in average deaths, actually.
See, actually,
really?
nice.
Okay, no.
Let's go for it.
3.7 deaths average. Redbird's
I
only
mean, 3.7 is nothing.
Healer-Sang is
leading with
4.3, I think.
To pump those
Like, he
numbers.
hasn't even played the split. Like, look at my guy Summit. Like, he has 5.5 deaths per game, and he hasn't played like, all of the games.
Summit's winning the honorary Robo award for most deaths from a top laner every split right now. Is Summit leading the charge to secure the Robo Medal of Honor.
I think
Is he higher than
wants to
Birtle right
be-
now?
Yeah, Birdle has 5.
Oh no, man! Come on, come on, dude.
Let's go!
Just flash up the big Summit sunglasses picture from when he added just absolutely Bing chilling out of retirement.
Hey man, he's living up to the name. He's the summit of deaths right now.
He's at the summit. Nobody can catch him. Oh dear.
I mean, top lane kingdom. He has seen that the Bows has won everything in Europe, tier 2.
Like, there's something to this.
He's doing something. He's doing something.
He's got to pull out the Scion, and he's going to give us all a lesson on how to do Inting Scion. That's for sure. Okay, so Furia Red as one of the ones that could actually be interesting, as we said. The jungle matchup pretty cool. Top lane's pretty cool. Gigo FNB, a classic Brazilian top laner matchup there.
Oh yeah.
The bot laners as well, Brunsey and Frosty, and Io and Jojo are probably. I mean, I'm not sure where I'd put Titan and Curry on the bot lane 2v2s right now. It doesn't feel like they've been as sick as they used to be. Are they up there? Are they really?
Yeah, they're way up there.
They are.
Maybe they are.
They are.
Maybe they can still
there's
be at
not
the
as
top.
big of a gap as they used to be, because everyone else is stepping up, or at least most of them are stepping
Yeah.
up. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Snaker. Yeah, they're still up there. Like, even in the matchups that they don't feel like they're winning, they are there. They're stable, and they know how to influence the fights when it's their turn to do something.
I'll tell you what it is. It's because Titan's been playing too much MF. That's why I'm like.
Yes,
has he been
I
doing
was just
anything?
gonna say
Has he
that,
actually
yeah.
been doing anything?
Well, okay, so I'm actually low-key impressed with Titan. As
Yeah.
much as it depresses me to see him pick it, he's the only AD carry who can actually play support MF in that role. Like, everybody else is feast or famine with MF. Like, either they get insanely good numbers. Like, IU's MF was seriously impressive. Like, he managed to win fights with no setup.
Yeah.
That's impressive in a different way.
Yeah.
But somehow, even when Titan's not carrying on MF, he's kind of low-key carrying on MF with, like, the slows and the positioning and
Yeah.
everything else he's doing with it, which is... I don't know. I'm really impressed by it.
Yeah, he still
Hashtag
is the
unbiased.
master of the bait positioning AD carry with,
Yeah.
with MF. Doesn't even have Ezreal and still manages
Well,
to draw
it's the
entire
way he
teams
steps up.
into the vortex.
Like, he's zoning out teams with MF, by the way, which is
Yeah.
insane. Like, how often do you see AD carries step up and actually zone out an enemy team? Usually when you see that, you're just like, oh, wow, that AD carry's inting.
Is
Like, they're just going to
mispositioning,
snap engage on him. But for Titans, like, he actually has that aura.
He's got
He
the
steps
aura.
up and you see teams back away.
Yeah.
It's like, why are we backing away? That's a misfortune. What's he
just
going to
kill
do?
him, bro? He's got nothing. He's got nothing. Just kill him, dude. And they can't do it. They can't bring themselves to
It's
attempt it.
crazy.
But we have Brunsey and Frosty versus Ayu and Jojo, which is a very cool bot lane matchup in the 2v2. These guys are super dominant. We can put them maybe comfortably right behind Titan and Curry, fighting for second and third bot lane duo right now. I've really liked what I've been seeing from Frosty, I think, for a long time, but even to this split, I think we're still seeing progress from him. I think he's still developing very nicely. Jojo is, of course, a stalwart veteran down there, and Ayu has been having a really good split. He's not been making the kind of as many of the sort of silly mistakes that I think we used to still see out of him, the kind of young player rookie mistakes that we saw. He's really cleaned that up, and Brunsey, of course, has now got plenty of splits under his belt and is just very, very solid. So that's very, very cool. both the jungle matchup and the bot lane matchup for me, and top lane as well, to be honest. Mid lane is like, okay, well, it's just Margot versus Tuts, and Tuts is looking really good, and Margot's looking like he's there, so that might be the honestly the most convenient play for Furia to play through to get an advantage, to be honest. It's just like do some Viari stuff and play through Tuts, maybe.
I actually am very curious of the jungle matchup. I think that one might swing the mid lane quite a lot, because the last time these two teams matched up, it was still Doom playing. Whereas now Aegis has stepped in.
Yeah,
and
very different.
Aegis and Tatu are like on the opposite extremes of the jungle right now. Because we've got two like older, more experienced jungles, or three, I guess. Shini, Karioka, and Aegis, right? Like they're the old heads. And then we are getting like the new junglers, like Tatu, Scary, and Desames. And Tatu's like the youngest of them all. So I actually really think this rematch with the jungle positions change might change things up a bit, especially when we're talking about how Red has been more tempered under Aegis coming back.
Yeah,
this
for sure.
Could be closer than you think.
No, for me, it's the top lane. I think like Red side is gonna decide so much for this matchup, because both of those top laners have been in the kitchen. They've been watching the barrel, like your plate lacks acid, and I'm here to bring you something way like lemon in the top lane. We've seen Azir top, we've seen Smolder top, we've seen Rod of Ages Cho'Gath top. It's stuff that nobody else thinks to bring to the table.
On the other side as well, like both of these top laners are cooking right now.
Yeah, so I think that like Red side, especially R3 and R5 as picks, are going to be so important in this matchup, because they thrive on having the counter pick and just forcing the enemy top laner to suffer, or at least in the case of Gigo, just you suffer through the laning phase, and for some reason you play Azir and you scale up.
yeah, temporary suffering only, for sure. And like, because in that Red Furia game before, was that the Gwen game where FNB lost his mind? And that was a big red throw, and that was with Doom. They should have won that game. So this is now with a much better jungler and the same quality across the board with.
I mean, that was literally the Azir game, and Zed for Tuts in mid lane too, where Tuts like kind of got manhandled early.
So we should have FNB on his best behavior, much better jungle influence. So Red definitely is. We're expecting a fight for this one. I think it's going to be a good best of three. I'm glad it's a best of three as well. That we actually get to see the full series. It's not just going to be best of one. So that's good to look forward to on that first day. Second day, Pain VKS. We've already. I mean, this one that would have been exciting like 6 months ago, but I'm not feeling good about it.
If CL whips his team into shape, maybe it could still be.
It does it at some point. At some point, he's got to do it. One would assume.
No, I mean, it could be like the opposite of interesting, not because it's going to be a Simron to all, but because, it can be an interesting in two ways, right?
Yeah.
One is Pain just shows up to the day, whips their stuff out and like smacks VKS in the face, and nobody's impressed. It's exactly like he plays it on the table, it breaks the table, whatever. The other is there is one team right now who is in the mud. They're not deep in the mud, but they are like in the mud. It's like knees deep or like knees deep in quicksand. And Pain is like walking by to just spit on them and just have fun. But when you're walking by, you're always in danger that the other guy can just grab you and get you in the quicksand. So we might see one of those games, and suddenly, like, Pain is the clear favorite of Group A, and oh my God, whatever, like, let's get this over with. And it starts placing doubts in your mind. And Group A just...
If Kate starts dragging them to the mud, like, Pain... VKS merely adopted the mud. Pain was born in it. Like, they were molded by it. They didn't know what macro was until 2022.
It's a different kind of mud, though, right? It's a mud that nothing moves. So you're doing nothing. Is Pain used to doing nothing?
They did it for 6 splits in a row. They were stuck in second and couldn't move.
Titan Pain. Titan Pain is not used to doing nothing. But so yeah, we'll see what VKS can mount up against Pain. If there's anywhere they can exploit. We'll see how the draft's going Fearless as well. We'll see get a little bit of juice out of VKS. Everyone else is getting pretty spicy right now, so we'll see if they can give us something. And if we're looking for mud, if we're looking for a real mud wrestling game, well, we've got Leviathan versus IE to round the week off, folks. Like, we've got two teams who had a pretty abominable first series. IE not quite as much, to be honest. I'd say that second game, that was definitely improvement. They are still showing signs of something, and they're still just inexplicably chuffed on every player cam. Whenever we get the player cams of them ready to go in the games, Jose is always happy. He's loving life. their mental seems to be completely indomitable, which is a good start. So who do we think's got this one? RMC, who do you think's taken Lev IE? Because I don't know, man. It seems like a kind of a toss-up at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I think it's really on Lev that's got me hesitating. I don't know what to expect from this Lev roster, right? Like on one week, Cody dominates on Gragas. The next week, he craps himself on Gragas. Actually, like in general,
he dominated versus IE though.
Yeah, he specifically.
True,
IE,
that is very true. Okay, I guess I would have to give it to Lev, but it's really. Yeah, I do feel like Lev could also throw up over themselves. So it really is a Lev-based game. IE is consistently improving. It's just really, really slow improvement. So, yeah. Like,
that was the 15 kill Callista game for Sayo as well against Snaker's Draven, who completely whiffed. So yeah, that was a big one, dude. That was a big one for Lev. So I guess we'll see if eventually IE in theory at this trajectory will pass them at some stage. Whether it's happened yet is yet to be seen. And we'll see how that best of 3 goes. Do you think we'll get 3 games out of it at least, RMC? Nah.
Actually, after Rev gives his opinion, we should probably run down our predictions for all the matches.
Yeah.
3 games.
3 games?
I think it's like, for some reason my mind isn't stuck on will we get 3 games, but do I want to see 3 games of that?
We're casting it, Rev.
Oh, you guys on it?
The answer is a definite maybe.
Okay. Baby.
I think like it really depends on the first game, because if we see a repeat of like last week or 2 weeks ago, Lev versus IE, I don't think there's going to be a second game. Yes, they are always chuffed, they're laughing their asses off, but will you really get like into the mood of playing another game, or are you ready to like run it down one more time, just like the old times with my body of house? So yeah, I think that it's going to be like a 2-0, but it really depends on will we like stomp the first game? Then yeah, sure, it's going to be complete 2-0. Who wins? Who knows, right? Like I'm gonna ask my cats. I really don't know.
Not the viewers, apparently.
Ask the cats. Yeah. Okay.
No, man, I think the viewers win more, especially if it's gonna be like a sort of banger fiesta, because that's it's not the same. Wait, it's the same day as the VKS game, so yeah, you're getting your money back.
a lot of the chatters come in and go, "Oh, this is like the worst League of Legends I've ever seen. This is silver gameplay," but they always come back, don't they? They're always there.
Yeah,
they're always chatting about it. So, like it or not, you're watching, buddy. You played yourself. So
everybody loves Jersey Shore and whatever, like all those shows. So.
Sometimes you just need a bit of Love Island to round the day out. You know what I mean? Like. So, and that's how we'll introduce the match on Sunday as the Love Island of LTA South.
Welcome to Brazil's Love Island. Sorry, no, not even Brazil's. Welcome to LATAM's Love Island. Love is war.
Absolutely. Okay, right. Back to the top, everybody. Loud Fluxy. Okay. I'm going to be absolutely just completely outrageous. I'm going to say it's a 2-0. Would anyone like to offer a different prediction? RMC, I'm assuming that's for Loud. Mine is for Loud. So,
well, how do I feel today? No country for old men.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it's Loud.
Yeah,
no, it's Loud 2-0. For Loud. I was thinking about like cooking up a little bit and giving a Flux a win, but yeah, I'm not feeling too spicy about that yet.
Nah, bro, not yet.
Yeah, it's a bad matchup for Fluxo as well, because like Loud is just. They're really stable in a way. Like, they're really good at stalling out games. So if you don't have experience closing out, it gets kind of iffy. Yeah. I mean, we saw even Furia trip over them a little bit. So.
Speaking of Furia Red, an actually interesting one in terms of predictions. I'm waiting. What? That looks like a single finger. 2-1. But to whom, good sir? Whomst is getting the 2?
Find out in the next episode of actually, this one's kind of spicy. I will get to Furia. I do think Furia is the better team, but I do think this is the one that can kind of flip back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's a question of how much do you trust Aegis now that he's back?
What can he do against Tatu, against strong lanes? Rev?
I'm going to give it 2-1 as well.
Okay.
But I'll give it to Red, actually.
Ooh,
okay.
Acceptable levels of spice. Medium spice.
If they manage to, like, Rain, their players, like have all those killer instincts a little bit tempered down, and we don't see the Gwen incident once again.
Yeah.
They've shown that they can not only win this matchup but dominate it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, fair.
I am going to take 2-1 Furia as well, because I do
Okay.
think that what we've seen from Red has more than enough juice in the tank to outperform them in lanes, at least for one game, probably potentially even more than one game. And then it's going to be about what Aegis can do to keep control of. He is now the guy holding the leashes of Red, where kind of that used to be Jojo, but now Aegis I think has been promoted to Chief Dog Walker, and is now holding the leashes. We'll see what he can do about that. So, and he only has to really hold FMBs and Brunces, to be honest. Like, well, but he has to hold Margus as well. Margus Akali needs his leash held for sure. So he doesn't have to hold Frosty's. I think Frosty's kind of got his head screwed on. The 3 carries probably need someone to be like, come
Actually,
on now.
speaking of Jojo holding leashes, I don't know what's gone on. Jojo used to hold the leash of both Titan and Gigo on that Red roster. But now, for some reason, he can't seem to control Gigo. Gigo is literally why Furia throws games.
No.
So...
Maybe he's just got 2 hands on IUs, and he's like, I can't help you, Gigo. I'm sorry, I am busy.
You held Titan's leash. How can you not hold IUs and Gigos?
If you believe Titan and the record that Titan actually is a mastermind and actually knows a lot about the game.
I believe that. No, I believe that. But also, we've seen enough behind the scenes stuff that like Titan tends to pull the trigger way too early, and then you hear like Zero have to kind of sit him down and be like, why you do this, Titan? She's like, it was good. And she was like, no.
Like, coach, it was good. It was a good play, coach. It was good.
Like, I believe he's smart, but I also believe that Jojo held his leash back on Red. So I don't know why you're completely unable to hold Gigo. Maybe that was part of Gigo's contract. I will leave Kate starts with Furia, but no leash. Ever.
I mean,
I
if
can
he
do whatever the hell I
be
want.
under CL's leash, then he's like, no leashes. Jojo's not allowed to hold my leash. It is stipulated. He's not he's not allowed to look at top lane. He cannot F key up to my lane at any point. It's illegal.
I mean, you've seen. I suspect you've seen like the Facebook meme of sometimes the best thing you can do is like let go, and it shows a rope being let go because it burns a hand. Maybe that's the case over there.
Yeah, just let it go. Just let Gigo play as a Zero top and go 0-3 in lane, man. Just let him go 0-3. Just he'll win and later. It's fine. Okay. Maybe. Pain VKS. I mean, I think it's a Pain 2-0 is my personal opinion. Rev, what do you think about Pain VKS? Would you like to give any games, possibly even 2 of them to VKS?
I'd like to give some games to Pain. I can't bring myself. Like I really want to believe. That's why I'm always stuck on VKS. They haven't done something to me per se, like personal, but I really want to see them succeed. I am a huge fan of like Trimby. He made my boy Comp win his first championship. He got MVP as well. I love that guy. I want to see him succeed. So do something, please. But I can see it happening right now, especially after the last game of theirs where they were just sitting AFK doing nothing. I don't think it's something that you can turn around in a span of a week.
Yeah, I think not going to be ready for Pain just yet. RMZ, you think VKS are going to be any flavor of ready for Pain?
Rev, I respect that, you really want to see Trimby succeed as a European. I'm not, and I don't. So, 2-0 Pain.
He cares absolutely zero for Trimby's performance, so it's going to be a 2-0 Pain. So that's going to be 3-2-0 for Pain, unsurprising. Now, Leviathan, i.e. Rev, we're going to let you go first this time on your predictions.
I mean, you're giving me the whole thing, right? Okay, here is what I'm gonna spice things up. I'm gonna give IE a 2-1 victory.
Oh, that is spicy.
How do you feel about that?
I feel good about it. I feel so good about it. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm also gonna give IE a 2-1 victory.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, and who do we think is replacing Snaker for this game?
Ackerman's gonna play both roles. He's gonna get 2 keyboards.
I'm actually really curious though, but why are both of y'all feeling the IE vibe here?
I mean, they're getting progressively better, right? And memes aside, I think the fact that they're just keeping their wits about, and you don't see them crying after every single soul-crushing defeat, is very, very good from a team, right? the way to improve through all adversity is to just keep your wits up and keep playing the game, and being there kind of works. I think that they can actually like do that.
Yeah. I think that Jose Diodo is getting his feet under him more every week. I think that it's going to give him an advantage over Scary. I think that I'm banking on Cody and Seo not doing that more than once in the series, basically. Not doing the Gragas game, not doing the Callista game. I just, on average, I am betting that they will not be able to do that twice out of 3 games.
Trajan, if you're betting, put your points where your mouth is.
Points.
Jose Diodo, once again.
My delicious points.
Ride with Jose Diodo.
Yeah, so I could either bet on Jose Diodo potentially overcoming the expectation and 2-1ing, or I could bet on Shinny versus Fluxu. So I'm going to bet on Shinny versus Fluxu and hope to acquire some points that way. I'm gonna look for another 9-0 in Xiaolin, if that's all right. That's what I'm gonna go for.
Big fan. Yeah, I called my prediction earlier. I think it's going to be a Lev win, and I'm going to go all the way. I think it's going to be 2-0.
And could just as easily happen, you know? With this series, it's really just kind of, you know, I think historically the data tells us that Leviathan should be favored. They perform better in group stages. They beat IE in their positioning phase match. But Rev and I are vibing for an IE win. So we'll see if they can get the 2-1 or if Lev will continue to knock them down. Those are all the matches for Saturday and Sunday. The last thing we need to do is look at the mailbag. And it's actually kind of a chunky one. It's kind of a chunky mailbag here. Or at least we have the one question from Lunar Day. It's a chunky thing we have to look at. Lunar Day says, with the NFL draft this past week, I feel like we need to know who you would have going in the first round, i.e. the top 8 picks in order if all LTA South players were eligible to be picked. So we checked this before, and we're going to do an NFL draft. Trajan, Rev, RMC are going to draft the LTA South for 8 rounds. Or as long as it seems feasible to do so, basically. Now, we're not going to do, because otherwise it would take 7 years to draft like all 50 players, right? We don't do all 50 players.
Yeah.
But we will do as far as we can get here. So we have a draft set up here that's now on the screen. So, gents, if you want to tab over, let's take a look at this. So Rev, as the newest member of the talent team, we have given you the first pick, the first overall pick in the draft to Slam, and we are going to snake draft this as we can see the numbers on the screen. First Rev, then myself, then RMC again, then me, then Rev, and so forth. So let's see how far we get here, folks. Rev, who would you like to take as your number one pick?
I hate this. I hate when you like so much freedom, you know, like put me in my cage, please. Don't let me. So
I'm gonna be Rev is against freedom and democracy.
I'm gonna be flamed no matter what, right? Like anything I do, I'm gonna be flamed. Now, I think I'm gonna go for Karaoke. He has been stepping up.
Okay.
What? Why would you pick Karaoke? Such a terrible friend.
Right, feel free to slap it in there. You've got control of the sheet, or should do. So go and put that pick in, brother. I am going to.
Why am I writing
in your cell, in your little box just for
Right,
you?
yes.
So I am going to go ahead and just stroll up to the pulpit and take Titan because.
Why are you doing this to me?
Because RMC. It said best players. You know, would you like for Pain to be good, or would you like us to take the players in this draft? You could only have one.
Damn it! They were actually my picks. This is so annoying.
but the thing is, now you have 2 picks in a row. So
Tattoo was a good one. That probably would have been because if Titan wasn't there, I was considering pushing the boat out and going Tattoo instead of Karaoke to make a point. But I think they're both great choices right now, especially.
I was considering him as well. I mean,
if
he
Pain
has been
Gaming I
ranked
cannot
as well.
have, Pain Gaming Academy I will take.
Yeah, so this does actually, despite the fact, to be clear to everyone as well, we're drafting this based on our value of the player as an individual. We're not trying to build a 5-team roster. We're not building an all-star roster. Because we do that when we do our end of season awards. We do all-stars, top first, second, and third team on our MVP. So we do that as part of content. So if you want to see that content, you have to stick around and see what we do at the end of the year, and you can watch it for previous years. So individual players, just who do I think is basically the 5th most valuable player, given who has already been taken? Who's the next most valuable one? But this does work out quite nicely for me, because my other choice was going to be Curry. So I'm still going to take him. And now I get Titan and Curry, even if I was building a 5-stack. So I get to do best of both worlds here.
Okay, now it's going to be kind of hard for me because I'm not sure which role I kind of value most right now, right? Like usually, through the whole of time, mid lane has been so significant, and better mid laners have been more significant than better other roles, but I feel like it's been kind of tempered down in the last couple of years, so I don't really care about like having the best mid laner if he can play, I don't know, Orianna or Azir and just wave clear for the first 30 minutes, and the rest of the game can run by itself. So I'm gonna go by Ayu, and then I'm really thinking about it because I am very tempted to either lock in Giggle, but he has been laning
a vote of confidence for Gigo.
He has been laning very weirdly, and I'll leave it at that because I try to be more positive. So I think I'm gonna be taking Brancy as well.
Oh wow,
he's gonna lock in just a brace of excellent AD carries ready to lock in there. Absolutely. Okay.
I'm fine with 80 carries as long as I don't get stuck with Snaker, basically. That's my attitude.
We're not going to go that deep into
the
draft to be stuck with Snaker.
We have the chance to make to do something very funny. Just lock in every single
I'm going to take Aegis as my next. And I think, given like what we've seen from Red, and even after just a few games from Aegis, I think that the change, the shift, the switch up we saw from Red was so instantaneous. I'm like, this guy actually is such a massive influence, right? And he's got Titan synergy. Look at that. This 5-stack is still functioning just about. All right, RMC.
Yeah, Curry was also on that Red roster, actually.
Yeah, for a hot minute.
You know, wait, that was the FNB roster, not the
Wasn't that the
Gigo
Bowl roster?
Right? Is that the Bowl roster?
That was the Bowl Avenger roster, was it not? That was the very
Bowl is
cursed
available,
Bowl
Trajan.
Avenger roster.
Bowl is available.
I know it is. I do not see it. I am choosing not to see it. I'll be
unfortunately neither Aegis nor Avenger nor Greftar. Neither Greftar, Avenger nor Envy is available, which are the other red mid laners at the time.
Yeah, I liked Red Envy. I was pretty happy with Red Envy as things go. I thought he did a pretty good job.
Okay, Cody, and who else should I go with here? I'm a big fan of FNB, not gonna lie, but
no, he's a very bad choice. Don't take him.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know. I'm feeling kind of mid laner-ish right now. Kissy's been doing really solid.
I mean, if you're feeling mid laner-ish, I'm surprised you've not gravitated to one obvious choice.
Yeah, okay. Saves mid lane, picks to Samus.
Nice. Perfect. Cody and Desamis. He's sold out Pain, lived Roamer in the dirt. Unbelievable.
You guys still karaoke and Titan.
Unbelievable from RMC. You had the chance. You didn't have a chance to pick them because we took them out from under you. You could have taken Roamer and you didn't. That's on you, bro. That's on you.
That's fine. right now, I believe in Roamer. Next year, I believe in Cody now.
Soon, I will believe in Roamer. Very soon, I will believe in Roamer. Now, there's quite an interesting thing, I think, depending on sort of potential values here.
Not potential, now, Trajan. Now.
I am taking a mid lane a pick as well.
Okay.
And you're not going with the Roamer?
No. He's thinking Fu, isn't he?
Maybe. Am I taking Fu?
I think he's taking Toots.
No, I don't think he'd be thinking that much of us Tuts. I think Tuts is pretty...
Yeah, I'll bet on my boy. I'll bet on my boy.
He is going Tuts. Okay.
It was between the two of them because, like, how much of Fu's performance, given what he does, if we put him, you know, on a good team, as we've been advocating for someone to put him on a good team for splits now. But Tuts is back on form, and I have to respect that. Tuts has been absolutely crushing it, to be honest. Especially compared to what we saw before. All right, Rev.
Okay. I think I have my next pick sorted out. I think it's going to be Robo. And I mean, I was really thinking about what's the order here. I want to have them, but Robo and Curry, because I think that it's
Curry's taken.
Wait, he's taken?
It's my second pick.
Second round.
Have you know?
I am blind.
Get owned.
Hammond. Then
that's why I'm molding right now.
Okay, so Robo and FNB then. It's fine. No supports. Like I'm gonna be the support from the coaching staff.
He's getting a 2 to compete for every position each time he goes through a pick.
We don't have to like a full every role, right? Like you could stack one role if
you
you're
can just stack with all the best. If like in a draft like this, you're picking all the best players. Someone could. I'm gonna take every bot laner. I'm gonna take every Brazilian bot laner because they're all sick. I'm gonna take Titan. I'm gonna take Brunsey. I'm gonna take IE. If it was possible. Sadly, it's not. Now, I am going to take Jojo here.
Okay.
Oof.
Is that the last Furia member? Are we out of Furias? I think we're out of Furias now. No, Gigo's still.
Gigo's still on the table.
Still on the table. For anyone who wants to step that up.
I'm good otherwise. Well, okay. I feel like we're doing Gigo really dirty though. Like Gigo actually probably is a high value pick.
Pick him then. Are you gonna do him dirty? By leaving him on the table?
I think he's. He's mostly. I swear to God, he's thinking bold right now, right?
He's gonna leave him out again. He's gonna say that, and he's gonna leave him out again. He's gonna pick Roma. And he's gonna take.
You know, I understand, Rev, why you might think I would pick Bull, because I feel like my position this split has become a Bull apologist. But if you've seen Bull in the past and you've seen my takes on Bull in the past, you'll know that as much as I think he's improved immensely, he is not my favorite top laner by a long shot. No, no, I'm thinking about my boy, but I feel like he's not been as good this split is my problem, but I really don't want to do my boy dirty. Oh man,
he's gonna do it.
The pain is just so audible.
Okay.
He's thinking so hard, dude. Look at him. He can't do it.
Oh, he didn't do it.
He took prods. You snatched prods.
You guys didn't take prods yet.
No, I haven't taken
that's why I'm like,
yet.
it's kind of tough. Like, yeah, it's kind of tough. Like, his performance this split has been kind of meh, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to leave him high and dry for too long, you know.
Please change the color of these cells.
Me, hold on. I'm trying to do something so that we don't.
Okay.
Wait. Okay, hold on. I can't remember the formula.
Root is a good pick. Root, low-key, I had an eye on Root for very soon.
He's being eel-held by his team as well.
He for sure is, yeah. In that case, if there's no Root, I think I'll... in that case, I'll take Fu now then, I think it's time for Fu.
Yeah, I have the opportunity to do something extremely spicy because I've been eyeing. Okay, let me actually step back and make an introduction for that, so I don't get lynched.
Yeah,
I've been eyeing Jose de Odo because you said that people being ill-held.
Yeah.
I was looking through their solo queue records as well. My boy has been grinding. He has something like 300 games this season, 60% win ratio. Oh no, more. 63% win ratio. He's being on that 1500 OP mark. He's still good. He has fingers. So if we're looking at isolated value of players, especially with all of the experience he carries, from LTA South or LCS as it was called, I think he's gonna be a cool pick.
There is a good argument for that.
So with that in mind, I think I'm getting Romer.
Okay.
That in mind.
And then I'm actually gonna go for Hasedeodo.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
The vote of confidence for Jose Diodo. I like it. I like it. It does solve the problem of Roma just being kind of notably left there off the table for a long time. So I'm going to take Frosty, which was my plan all along.
Okay. Oh man, I'm starting to run out. I should have set it so that it shows duplicates, so that we don't make that mistake.
Yeah.
But
Now
I'm
we've
having
got
problems finding
to-
the right formula.
We've got to consider loud players, VKS players. I dare say the three, all four of the best, Margot has been left by the wayside, but
Yeah, he's like Romer to me, where it's like,
Yeah.
you'll appreciate the value, but right now, not quite there. Like,
yeah.
there's higher priors.
Picking any other Elo held players out, like Jose or Fu, if there's anyone else, languishing.
I don't think Jose Diodo's
You don't think he's
Elo
Elo
held, so-
held? There you go. Shoot. Like Fu and Root then. There we go. Like Fu and Root then, if that takes your fancy.
Fu kinda is. Well, I already took Root.
Fu for sure is. It's a good Fu. Fu
Yeah.
kinda is. Fu is egregiously.
We need to rename the Ninja Kiwi Award to Fu Awards.
Literally,
he
he wins the honorable Ninja Kiwi Most Elo Held Award every year.
Oh, I feel like there's some names that we have to put here though. Like there's been one notable guy who has we've kind of done him dirty by not picking him sooner.
Come on now, let's see it.
Is
it time to Gigo? Is it time to draft the Gigod?
Yeah, it's probably time. And then did we?
It's getting harder and harder, isn't it?
Yeah, should I go mid or bot?
Don't know. Doesn't matter. Who do you think's better at the game? Who do you think's a better player?
Ooh.
Are you thinking like Miryu or Cody or Seo maybe, or? I'm trying to think who's still Tinones could be. Oh,
Okay, that's my
Kissy.
8th.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
Kissy's above Tinones right now. I think Tinones is
Yeah,
kind of griefing.
there's definitely a shot for that. Now I could just be really rude. What I think is being really rude to Rev at this point. But I don't know if I want to.
Rude how?
I could just snipe Trimby right now.
Why are you doing that to me?
I could snipe
Like,
Trimby right now.
I was thinking about Trimby. The moment I looked at Hasodeo, I'm like, okay, I want to round this up with Trimby. There's no way nobody else thinks about Trimby in top 24.
Trimby, am I right, guys? Actually, I am going to do a proper vote of confidence to someone who has not let me down and has been a stalwart member, a successful member for me. I'm going to take Zothvi. Because I think Zothvi has had a very serviceable, consistent, reliable season on a team that is clearly not performing like it was before. And into, like, traditional top lane smashers, into FNB, into Summit, into Robo, Zothvi actually performs really well. So I think Zothvi, that's gonna be my vote of confidence to round us out.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
That's an interesting choice. Yeah.
I wouldn't say the same. Like, if you're taking Zothwi, why not take Seal? Then, like,
I'd
more
say
or less the
CO
same.
was one of the other choices I was considering. Was CO or Zothvi, maybe Miryu, but realistically, I think it probably was between CO and Zothvi at the end,
Okay.
or
Like, thing
Trimby
is-
for the memes. But
Thing is, right now, like, I'm actually thinking Trimby, or I'm thinking about Mago, because he has started to prove himself as a more of a competitive mid laner as well. He's not just all solo queue picking up all those flashy picks. He has played a lot of Theta Lee, and he's been quite stable at it. I wouldn't say he excelled, but he's there. Like,
Yeah.
he is a mid of the pack mid laner, and we're like in the mid of the pack.
we are at
of the
almost
solo
exactly
players.
the halfway mark, right? We're 24 picks in out of 50 total players. No,
Yeah.
out of 40 total players. What am I saying? It's only 8 teams, so we're over halfway through.
Yeah, so I'm
through
like
the league.
thinking, do we like slam
And-
him, or do I go for Trimby? Because I think that he's still, maybe he's not like the engaged player that he was never actually the biggest engaged player if we exclude Rakan, because Rakan is such a flexible pick and he has shown that he's quite good at it.
Yeah.
So if we take that responsibility off him, I think that he's doing his job pretty nicely. Like, VKS have a lot of info, and they're waiting for somebody else to do the thing. He's not the one doing the thing. I'm gonna elect not to see all the times that he hasn't engaged on the most egregious mispositions, and I am gonna lock in Trimby.
There we go. Standard. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Wrapped it up. I think this is pretty good, actually. I'm pretty happy with
Are there any
mine,
players
for
we think
sure.
that got snubbed that we didn't pick up, which we should have
So
picked
there's
up?
an argument as to Gigo dropping down to below the halfway mark, I think, by the end. This is the 21st pick in the draft, which is bottom half on a Furia roster, and Gigo he's been a part of those wins, right? So maybe that's one. Other snubs?
He's been part of them post 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So like for half of those wins.
Yeah.
Well, he's had some good lanes as well.
Yeah.
The problem, I think, is just that he's so high variance that all of us are scared to pick him.
Yeah.
Because he throws games as much as he wins them, which is...
Maybe FNB could have been higher. Maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna slam the bomb here. What about Mortheus?
yeah, actually, Morteus, I
thought
agree.
about
I think
Morteus.
Morteus is better than Trimby or Zothwy.
But so I thought about Morteus for sure, but I guess I don't know enough. Haven't seen enough.
Statistically, he's a monster. Like when I was asking mid or bot when I picked Kissy, I was thinking between Kissy or Morteus because I think Morteus is definitely up there. Which is why I'm kind of shocked that y'all went Zothwy and Trimby. Like, okay, the Trimby one I was less shocked because that's Rev and he likes Trimby, so that's fine.
Because I think
Zothwy,
like if I was I think Zothwy is legit, man, and I think I was thinking about top laners basically as a pool, right? And the three main ones are Robo, FNB, Gigo, right? That's like, and Wiser, sorry, the four main ones. But when they're all taken, I don't think that Zothwy plays considerably worse than those guys. I actually don't think he's that much worse than them in terms of what he puts on the Rift. I think his team is absolutely just sort of multiple tiers below all of their teams. Maybe Loud and Red are debatable, right? But just because they're a little shakier, but especially with Aegis Red and Loud getting after their rough start, like, I don't know, I think Zothwy has a lot less to work with and still does more than enough in my opinion. And then
The
it
real
means that
question is, Sorry. But real question is, you get those teams, like the teams we made, it's an 8-man roster.
Yeah.
And you place them in a group with best of race with VKS.
who beats
do they land?
VKS versus who loses the VKS.
And also like who beats each other, because that's also very
So
very interesting. to place them in.
if I had to make a 5-man roster out of this, it would be Titan, Curry, Aegis, Tuts, Zothwy, because Zothwy's the only top laner. So it would be.
Wait, highlight your
this.
team.
That would be the top. That would be the 5 stack, and then I've got Jojo potentially in for Curry, which I think is perfectly good, and then Fu instead of Tuts, which is also perfectly good, and then like another bench support for Frosty just in case.
Wait, I actually really like my team.
Wiser, Tatu, Cody, Root Pro Delta. I think the bot lane is a little chopped. I think Root Pro Delta isn't like a particularly synergistic combination, but Wiser, Tatu, Cody
fair.
is very high performance. This is very high performance. And then
Wait.
you have Karaoke, Roamer. This is chopped actually. This is the real chop.
Bro, can I trade you a root for either Bronzy or Ryan?
They're mine. I have like the best bottom lane in the lane.
Yeah, you've got 2, man. You can spare one.
Trimby, Brunsey, Roamer.
That's kind of chopped too.
Yeah,
Ball lanes are chopped. Freaking Trajan with Titan Curry is the only one with like.
The only playable
took
bot lane. So I'm just gonna play. We're just gonna send Aegis the gank bot every minute on the minute from 4 minutes in, and I'm gonna hope Titan.
What do you mean?
No.
Who wins versus Brancy, Trimby, Soraka, Varus, or Zeri, or whatever?
Soraka, Zeri. Let's.
They do nothing.
The secret is Pro Delta isn't laning. It's just root in the bot lane. Pro Delta is roaming with Tatu.
Yeah,
so that's a sexy combo.
That's true. That's true. Brunsey is just 1v2. He's outplaying 1v2 with Zeri and Varus.
Okay, but we agree that all of those teams win versus Leviathan and Aether's, right?
Yeah, I think all of
they win.
I think all of these teams do probably beat IE.
Yeah. VKS though?
You're muted, RMC. I don't even know how you've done
muted?
that. Like I saw both your hands on your mug and suddenly you're muted. I don't even know how that's possible.
Wait, so yeah, I don't know how that's possible.
You're right,
I was saying that Leviathan kind of questionable. Like IE definitely, but Lev tripped up Furia and Kate Stars.
Yeah. But I've got the best part of Lev. I have Zothwy, so I will simply defeat them.
I've got prawns.
You've also got Cody, which is like
I've got the best mid laner LTA
you've got
South.
the
Let's
actual
go.
best part, I think, which is Cody. Oh dear. Okay, right. I guess viewers, commenters, let us know which of you think is as a better draft and a better 5-stack as well if you want. We'll specifically Lunar Day. We have to get your answer at least because this was your question. So let us know who you think drafted the best. Anyone else, feel free to let us know. With that, that's going to wrap us up for this episode of Gringos Liberados. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Tune in this weekend. Once again, normal group stage time, Saturday, Sunday, starting at 12 noon local Brazilian time in Sao Paulo, and adjust that accordingly to your own selves. If you like, you can join us on Discord to submit questions, to chat about the league, chat about fantasy, chat about State League of Legends, any of it with us and the fans. And you can follow us on Twitter at LTA South. You can follow us at Twitch at LTA South. And we hope to see you this weekend. Peace.